Section 1. A Siberian guest is coming to dinner. Believe it or not, the weather over your head in Berlin this winter might be decided by a subtle warming event happening miles above the North Pole. It sounds strange, but it's true. A disruption high up in the atmosphere can send a wave of bitterly cold air, sometimes called a Siberian Express, spilling down across Europe, dramatically changing our season from mild and damp to frozen and severe. This isn't just a forecast for a single cold day. It's about a fundamental shift in the winter's character. Understanding why this happens is key to being ready for whatever the season throws at us, because it affects everything from our heating bills to the food on our tables and the safety of our daily commute. So, what is this powerful force at the top of the world? It's called the polar vortex. Don't let the dramatic name scare you. Think of it as a huge area of very cold, low-pressure air that spins like a top high above the Arctic during winter. It's a normal part of our climate system, a constant feature of our coldest months. To truly grasp what the polar vortex is, let's build a clearer picture. Imagine Earth tilted on its axis in Northern Hemisphere winter. The North Pole is plunged into months of darkness, receiving no solar energy. That lack of sunlight makes the air incredibly cold and dense. Cold, heavy air sinks, shaping a low-pressure gyre high above. In the stratosphere, about 10 to 50 kilometers up. This is the heart of the polar vortex, a vast, persistent cyclone that appears every winter. The spinning motion is crucial, like a figure skater pulling their arms in and spinning faster. The vortex spins fast because the pole mid-latitude temperature contrast is huge. That fast rotation creates a powerful barrier flanked by the polar night jet stream. Show diagram. A tight circular polar vortex with a fast, straight jet stream like a ribbon. The jet stream is like a fortress wall, fencing in the coldest air. When it's strong and straight, Arctic air stays locked up. Germany then sees normal or mild winters, driven by westerly Atlantic winds. Remember, this is a high-altitude puppeteer, indirect but very powerful. A stable vortex means stable, predictable weather. When it falters, patterns turn chaotic. What could disrupt a system as vast as the polar vortex? Powerful atmospheric waves travel up from the troposphere. These are called Rossby waves, giant meanders in the air, often generated as air flows over the Rockies or over the Himalayas, or by strong land-sea temperature contrasts. Most of the time they pass harmlessly eastward, but sometimes they surge vertically into the stratosphere. They crash into the spinning vortex like a wave hitting a top. The impact transfers energy and heat. This is a sudden stratospheric warming. Over days, stratospheric temperatures over the pole can jump by roughly 50 degrees Celsius. The warming weakens the vortex from its core. Pressure rises and the spin slows. It becomes distorted, stretching, wobbling, and in extreme cases, splitting. The fortress walls are breached. The polar night jet buckles and slows. It's a chain reaction. Surface waves disrupt the stratosphere, reshaping winter far below. And right now, late October, scientists see signs the vortex could weaken, setting the stage for a winter shakeup. The key to how a wobbly vortex changes our weather lies in its grip on the jet stream. The jet stream is a fast-flowing river of air high above us, separating cold air to the north from warmer air to the south. With a strong vortex, it runs straight and fast across the Atlantic, delivering a steady stream of mild, moist ocean air to Europe. That's our familiar mix of rain, overcast skies, and temps hovering just above freezing. But when the polar vortex weakens, it disrupts the river of air below. The jet begins to snake, developing huge north-south waves. These bends are troughs and ridges, and they can stall for days or weeks. When a deep trough parks over Central Europe, a direct pathway opens for Arctic air, or Siberian air can surge west, replacing our usual westerlies with biting easterlies or northerlies. That's the beast from the east setup behind historic cold snaps. The incoming air is dry, dense, and brutally cold. A warming aloft can translate to a deep freeze at ground level. Elsewhere, ridges pull warmth north. Greenland or parts of the Arctic turn unusually warm. It's a weather seesaw. The cold doesn't vanish, it's redistributed, often onto Central Europe. When a weakened vortex sends a deep trough over Germany, the consequences are immediate. Temperatures plunge and stay low, days near or below freezing, nights well below zero. It can feel more like Moscow or Helsinki than Munich or Cologne. Precipitation shifts too. Cold continental air over warmer seas picks up moisture, fueling persistent coastal snow. Hamburg and Rostock can see major accumulations. Inland stays drier, but any system favors snow over rain. Because the jet is blocked, events last longer, days instead of hours. That persistence drives high impacts and strains services. Energy demand for gas and electricity surges, testing the grid and reserves. Bills rise, especially in older, drafty homes and for lower-income households. Cities burn through snow removal budgets. Transit slows or stalls. Frozen switches and icy tracks disrupt rail. Buses crawl or stop. Water pipes freeze and burst, causing costly repairs. Snow insulates crops, but a sudden deep freeze without snow, black frost, can be devastating. Livestock need more feed and unfrozen water. Transport hazards multiply. Roads, freight, and flights back up. Logistics and retail feel the pinch. While we can't control the polar vortex, we can control how prepared we are. Simple steps make a big difference. No panic, just sensible foresight. Seal windows and doors to cut drafts and heating costs. If you use a fireplace or stove, clean the chimney and stock dry fuel. Know your water main. Protect pipes against freezing. Keep blankets, warm layers, and non-perishable food on hand. Prepare your car. Winter tires, strong battery, proper antifreeze. Carry a winter kit. Blanket, light, first aid, scraper, cables, snacks, and water. Stay informed with reliable forecasts like the Deutsche Wetterdienst. Check on elderly or vulnerable neighbors. Create a family plan for outages or travel disruptions. The atmosphere's dance, from spinning top to wandering river, binds the Arctic to our doorstep. These dynamics constrain grids, challenge farms, and snarl transport. Science doesn't promise a future. It quantifies risk and grants foresight. Understanding loads the dice in our favor. Let's choose to be informed, prepared, and resilient, whatever winter brings.